Oh, it was an excruciating pain that went from my thigh up to the lower part of my back. It had me to where I could not sit in the tub to take a bubble bath, and that's one of my favorite things to do. I live alone. I was having a hard time getting my house clean. I'd have to do a little bit and sit down. And he told me it had to do with my L4 and L5. They were terribly tilted. He told me that he could repair it. He promised me he could, and he did.
Instrumentation is at L4 and L5, and then we just make sure that there's no haziness around the screws, so there's no loosening or failure of the hardware.
So it's a relatively small incision, and essentially get down on the spine, take the roof off of the spine, and decompress the areas where there's nerve root compression. Use some screws to stabilize the construct, and then remove the disc, pack some bone in there, and then put an expandable cage that sort of acts like a jack to fill that disc space and facilitate fusion and stability.
I fell in love with Dr. Overly. With my very first visit, he was very professional. He was thorough. He made sure that I understood what he was telling me. He showed me examples and pictures, and he gave me time to ask questions. And what impressed me the most is that he was willing to FaceTime with my daughter to explain to her what was going on with me.
There are several benefits of going home. As Ms. Rose and I were just discussing, I think you sleep a whole lot better at home in your own bed, number one. Obviously, you're minimizing the risk to you and potential loved ones who may come to visit. The other thing is we're using different types of pain management regimen, meaning when you go home, it's mostly a pain management regimen that has to do with sort of the local anesthetic type pain management rather than opioids. So people are getting significantly less opioids because they're not using them in the hospital, and they've got this local analgesia.
The day of my surgery, I got up in recovery and walked myself to the bathroom, went home with a walker, and I've been moving around ever since. I mean, it was like, I can't even explain, it was like a miracle. I went into surgery in excruciating pain. But when I woke up, there was no pain, and I don't know, it may have been a tribute to the anesthesia, but even after that wore off, I never had a lot of pain.
Some of the things that I do differently to help with the surgical pain has really kind of paid back in dividends, and people seem to be very happy with it, and easy to manage their pain at home. They're actually much less pain than someone who would traditionally stay in the hospital.
I just took it one day at a time, and it's been fine. I don't have any complaints. So I think since the surgery, I think I'm going to be a better person.